Welcome to this first meeting of the new Council's C&E Committee, Community Environment Committee. And welcome to new members, particularly who have not been here before. And particularly, I suppose, to anyone who's daring to watch us on YouTube tonight. Entertaining meeting, I'm sure. But anyway, we'll see that. And so first of all, apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, we have apologies from Councillor Boothroyd and Councillor Murphy.
And substitutes, as Councillor Butler for a start. Oh, are you a substitute? No, it's Matt Buckler, I think. Yes. You're the sub, aren't you? Are you the sub? Oh, you're not a sub. Oh, you're the substitute. Right. Very good. Right. Okay. Right. Very good. And no substitutes on your side. No. Right. Okay. Right. Very good. Public participation. I don't think we've had any requires or demands for appearance. There's nothing written. So next item 3, interests. Anyone got any interest particularly tonight? No. Right. Okay. We'll be quick at this rate, won't it? So item 4 then, appointment of members to the Biodiversity Subcommittee and to the Local Plan Subcommittee. And you'll see that on pages 3 to 8. So now I'll turn to James and he can introduce the report, his report.
I'll be very quick with this report, Chair. So you'll recall at the annual meeting a couple of weeks ago that there was a desire to establish subcommittees for the local plan review and also for biodiversity, which are priorities for this council. So this report simply seeks nominations which have been circulated on the schedule before members this evening. That will be uploaded to the website after the meeting. You're invited to approve the local plan review and also the subcommittees for the local plan and biodiversity. But in presenting the report, I've also set out what remains of the terms of reference of the former working groups that these work streams covered in the previous administration. And members, you're invited to suggest any amendments that you may wish to propose to the terms of reference for both the biodiversity subcommittee and the local plan subcommittee. And then there's a final recommendation just to authorise me to set meeting dates and times for the subcommittees for this municipal year. I would add that that should be in consultation with the chair of the subcommittee. Clearly, we don't want to impose dates that aren't workable, but if you could agree to that delegation to at least get that work in train, then we can start to get things moving. So I think that summarises the report, Chair.
On page 6, it says the working group will comprise, that's the local plan working group, comprise 11 members, it's actually 10.
Yes, it was previously 11 in the last administration,
yes,
but it's 10 now.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Does anyone want to? Well, we've got the recommendations in front of us, 1 to 5. I think we'll keep them separate so that we can, because obviously there are 2 subcommittees being discussed, so we'll keep them separate. So turn to recommendation 1 then. Does anyone like to propose? Yeah, right, good. Right, seconded. Right, thank you. Yeah. And then item 2, or recommendation 2, in terms of the local plan subcommittee. Peter, yeah. I should have introduced Peter, by the way, as my vice chair.
Yes, can I move recommendations relating to the local plan subcommittee chair? And I do so with great satisfaction on behalf of the new administration, because a fresh approach to the review of our local plan is central to the philosophy of the Progressive Alliance. We believe that communities themselves should be at the centre of the plan making process, and where our local plan involves change, we want our communities to shape that change and to own that change. We also want a new and more positive relationship with the Peak District National Park Authority to the benefit of the communities across the whole district. We believe that re-establishing the local plan subcommittee will help us in this process. It will sharpen the focus of debate, engage more members, and we will welcome the contribution from our colleagues from the opposition, and with regular reports to this committee. And of course, the subcommittee will ensure that debates on the future of our communities are carried out and held in the public arena, again central to the philosophy of the new administration. Thank you, Chair.
Can I say something?
Oh, sorry.
Please?
Can I make a comment at this
Yes,
juncture?
sure. Yes, definitely.
I really feel happy to be part of this local plan group. Could I just clarify one thing? Because it's a review of the local plan that is existing, would this involve scrapping the existing plan? What is the actual end game with this?
No, it's not scrapping. It's obviously looking at all the recommendations in it, all the clauses. Some of them are completely out of date, I suspect, or they will be by next year.
Well, I believe the current local plan was done in 2017.
That's right.
And they normally last for 15 years.
Yes.
But would you
anticipate?
I'd just like a bit of advice from officers on this.
Right. Okay. I don't know. Can you help on that, James?
I'm not sure I can answer what the intention is, but there is a requirement to review the local plan after approval, and we were already in that process prior to the election. So I think what the purpose of this is to formalise the structure for that review in a body that meets publicly, sort of reiterating the points that Councillor O'Brien made about transparency of process. So I think that's purely what it's about. That review of the local plan was already underway, so this is no different in effect to what was happening before, other than it's a subcommittee dealing with it rather than the working group. However, I can't comment beyond that because local plan's not my area of professional expertise.
The main concern in my mind is that because the existing plan gives a framework, a planning policy framework for the council to work from, and also officers who are dealing with planning applications, when planning applications are made, obviously developers look at whether the council has a local plan which has been adopted and that carries full weight. And I'm just slightly concerned that any possible new application that comes in during a period where the plan is under review, would there be any likelihood of developers being able to use that as an opportunity in terms of sort of negating the weight of the existing plan where something was contentious?
Again, this isn't my area of expertise, but my expectation would be that the local plan that's approved will continue to carry weight until the council approves any revisions to the local plan.
Yeah, that's good. That satisfies me. Thank you.
Right, recommendation 3 then, that subject to any amendments proposed in the meeting of the terms of reference. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You're very keen tonight, Councillor Burford.
Well, James said, could you finish by 6:05?
Yeah, I'd just like to echo what Councillor O'Brien says, and it's very reassuring that we've got an opportunity now to look at the existing local plan and build on it. There's been a lot of changes. The Environment Act, we've taken declared a climate emergency. There's so many things, and the openness and transparency and the consultation of members of the public, taking the public with us will make us stronger as an organisation and stronger as a group. And I really think that we should all work together to get that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I echo those words that Steve just said. We need to take the public with us. That's what's never been happening before. We need to be fully agree with the public and be fully transparent. I think this is what's been sadly needed over the last few years. So we will take public into the account on all issues. Thank you, Chair.
We move on to recommendation 3 then, that subject to any amendments proposed in the meeting.
I'll make a suggestion that you vote on the memberships of the subcommittees before you get into debate about any changes to.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, right, yeah. So, in terms of those nominated then, in terms of the 4 parties that have been proposed for the, well, take the biodiversity one first, as that's first on the agenda. Would someone like to propose that those members are appointed to.
Being proposed and seconded already, Chair.
Yeah,
So
right.
we just need to vote.
Well, just a vote. Right, yeah, right. Okay. All in favour of the. Thank you. Right, that's carried. All in favour? Okay, I think it's unanimous again. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. I'm happy to propose it. Obviously, in the last council, we had a biodiversity working group which worked across the council and made lots of progress, had lots of support, and we had a unanimous vote at the last meeting. I think the last item of business that we did was to look at all of the work we do and recognise that the fact that we need to integrate the biodiversity work, which we've predominantly done through the Clean and Green team, recognising all of our duties, which is great to see. And I think that bringing together this working group so that we're looking at all of our activities and our impacts on biodiversity will be a really good thing to do. So I'm very happy to propose to follow the recommendation, to propose a recommendation.
I'll second that, Chair, and I agree with Matthew. Biodiversity is very, very important. We see so much wildlife being destroyed over the last few years. In my lifetime, bird numbers have dropped enormously. So biodiversity is all part of the chain, which leads up to everyone, even to our way of living. So yes, I totally agree with biodiversity, and I hope we can make a difference. I see many, especially my village now. There's a grass verge just off the main road, and it's a brilliant show of colour now at the moment. It's worth looking at Gypsy Lane, Middleton. Just worth looking at. It's fantastic colour, and that's been left alone probably 15 years, never been touched. So it does work, biodiversity, for the wildlife. And yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Slack. I think the only thing I would add to that is that I think the public tend to be a bit confused about the fact that this council has an agency agreement with the county council to mow the highway verges, and they think if there's any sort of inconsistency, shall we say, with the policies of this council, then we should change that. But of course, they don't realise that we only have an agency agreement. They see our teams mowing the verges and probably spraying weeds as well, and they realise that we haven't got a policy for use of glyphosate, which the county council still do. So I think there's scope there for the subcommittee to discuss these issues with the county council at some length. So yes, Councillor. Yeah, Wayne.
I'm happy to second it. Point 3 and the details at 2.5 in the report. I'm happy to second that. Thank you.
Right, we'll have a vote on that then. All in favour of that particular recommendation? Unanimous again. Thank you very much. Of course, but in terms of reference for the local plan subcommittee. So would anyone like to propose that we approve those?
I'll move that, Chair.
Yeah. Right. Second, Councillor Wayne. Thank you very much. And all in favour? Thank you very much. Unanimous again. And finally, the Director of Corporate and Customer Services be authorised to set meeting dates and times for the subcommittees for the 2023-24 municipal year. Need to say anything about that, James? No?
Just to add in that caveat, we will be done in consultation with the relevant chairs.
Yeah, right, okay. Would someone like to propose it? Councillor Wayne? Yeah, right, okay. Seconder? Yes, Councillor. Oh, yes, certainly, yes.
because there isn't any. This report was produced very quickly to respond to the request for the meeting. As you were aware, this is an extraordinary meeting in many ways. But this report was pulled together at rapid time, and I didn't have a chance to proof check it. So my fault, but well spotted, Councillor Butler.
Thank you very much.
Right, yes, thanks for that. Did you second it as well, or was there a seconder? Yeah, right, okay. Right,
Happy to
thank you.
second.
All in favour of that clause then? Unanimous again, so not quite 5 past, but it's just turned 1/4 past, so never do that again. No, that's right. So thank you very much for your attendance, and thank you very much for your forbearance with me as a new chair, shall we say.